Good day everyone, welcome back to another video of my opinions about classical music. If you are an old viewer, welcome back. If you're a new viewer, welcome. I hope you want to subscribe, and also if you like the video, please like the video. If you don't like the video, leave a comment down below how I can improve. Today we are talking about a piece I have performed on multiple occasions myself, but unfortunately have never been able to record. So instead, as a special treat, I had my good friend Madeleine Fatland Nilsen and her pianist friend Maren Marie Tange record this piece for the video. So I just want to say thank you to both of you. And now for the big reveal. Today's piece is Opus 73, fantasy piece by Robert Schumann. And we are talking specifically about the first movement. And now some of you who know this piece might be thinking, oh, this is some great clarinet repertoire, of course you're going to talk about some clarinet repertoire now. But honestly, this is not just a repertoire for clarinet, this is also repertoire for piano. To call the piano part in here an accompaniment part is really misleading. Piano plays such a huge role in this piece that I really couldn't justify not saying that this is a duet. The solistic parts in the piano are more subtle, but they're definitely there. Let's actually start by listening to one of the piano solistic places in this piece. And this specific place actually has kind of a call and response kind of situation where the piano is the caller and the clarinet is the responder. So look out for that as well. It's a really short part, but you can really tell that the piano is actually the one in focus there. It's not the clarinet. Even though the clarinet comes in and interrupts, don't get me wrong. But it's not the main focus, it's the piano that's really carrying these few bars. Another spot where the piano gets back in focus is actually the last 7 bars. The clarinet ends the melody on a long note, which honestly has the potential to kill them if you play the piece a bit slowly. But then the piano takes the attention and really has the opportunity to push and pull on the tempo as they like. Which is a big part of performing this piece, to push and pull on the tempo. Just playing the music straight isn't really that interesting. It's not that interesting music. You have to actually work as a musician to make this piece sound great. And Schumann also aids in this by having continuous triplets in the piano part, which goes against the clarinet part, which constantly has the 8th notes. If both parts were to play 8th notes at the same time, they would have to play together, otherwise it would sound off, right? So if you have triplets, it's easier to kind of stretch a bit on the 8th notes on top of it, because they're not meant to be at the same time anyway. There's especially one part where the 8th notes against the triplets are really in focus. And in this part, the clarinet actually merges somewhat with the piano sound, and it creates this texture which sounds really great. The clarinet isn't the soloist here. They're playing together to create this continuous sound, which in a hall with good acoustics sounds totally amazing. Let's listen to this part, because it's actually my favorite part of the entire piece. Absolutely beautiful. But okay, now we've been talking a lot about the parts that aren't clarinet solo parts, which is kind of ironic because this piece is actually a standard part of the clarinet repertoire. So let's shift to a part where the clarinetist is in focus. The obvious part to start there is of course the opening, where the clarinet has this beautiful phrasing that kind of extends further and further as you listen. You have a bunch of smaller phrases, but they all kind of build up until this point right here. And then they trade off with the piano, having the piano be in focus, the part we looked at before. And then we get back to the texture part where the clarinet isn't the soloist, but if we look at the very last few bars of this texture part, we get my second favorite part of this piece. We'll listen through the entire texture part again to get the context, but this part really stands out because it's completely solo clarinet. It's the first time it happens in this piece. And it works so beautifully. It's really dramatic, but it's also kind of melancholic, that you've had all these feelings and then you kind of just pause. And then the melody from the beginning starts up again, but this time it's pianissimo instead of piano, which makes it kind of feel a bit more melancholic. It's like you break out of the cloud of emotion that is the texture part, and then into this melancholy, or nostalgia if you will. So let's listen to that from the texture part. And then we finally get to the very ending of this piece, and it's honestly such a beautiful ending as well. I say a lot of parts are my favorite parts, but this is probably my third, I think we've gotten to, third favorite part. Again, we have this dramatic stop in the clarinet, which is followed by the piano solo part, which we talked about before. The potential to really pull on the timing here. And it's important to get it together, because here you have the 8 notes that are playing together. But if you manage to get that much in contact with your pianist, if you play the solo clarinet, or with a clarinetist if you play the piano, you have the opportunity to really pull and make this so sad and dramatic. Let's listen to the ending of this piece. Isn't that just absolutely beautiful? I think my favorite part about this piece, not a part in the piece, but about this piece, is that every version of this piece will sound different. I love how you can pull on the timing and still make it sound tasteful. I also love how you can choose not to pull on the timing and it still sounds good. Or if you want, you can pull on the timing some places and have it really strict other places to emphasize some parts. It's a beautiful piece. Schumann is a great composer, and anyone saying otherwise I will come for. As we end this video, I want to play the whole piece again, and I want you to comment where you can hear the texture, and I want to comment where you can hear the pushing and pulling on tempo, or the lack thereof. And again, this is my friend Madeleine Fatland Nilsen and her pianist friend Maren Marie Tange who performs this recording, so let them know what you think of their performance as well. Personally, I think it sounds amazing, but I'll leave it up to you. Leave a comment. Now let's listen. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you again to Madeleine Fatland Nilsen and Maren Marie Tange. And yeah, remember to subscribe, like. If you didn't like the video, let me know how I can improve in the comments. And if you have a suggestion for a piece for me to talk about, leave that in the comments as well. Just check out that it's in the public domain and that you have a recording available on IMSLP. Unless you want to record it for me, of course. And with that, I'll see you next time.